Yeah,
So,
he's come a long way since Spy Kids 3, so
oh my gosh.
yeah, that's a deep pull.
That is a deep hole. Hello and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, what did we just get out of seeing?
We just got out of seeing The Running.
The Running Man, Edgar Wright is back, baby.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel like the last movie I saw of his was Baby Driver.
Honestly, I did not see One Night in Soho or Last Night in Soho. I need to get around to doing that. I heard it was good. But yeah, Baby Driver, I think, was the last latest film I saw from the guy. And I
Improved
love it.
film.
Yeah, I
Oh
love
my
Baby
god.
Driver. It's definitely in my like top 50.
Top 50?
All time, hell yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So great, so great. But yeah, no, Edgar Wright decided, be at the helm for this Stephen King adaptation, which, by the way, is what, like our fifth Stephen King adaptation this year, or six? We've had quite a few between like The Long Walk, Welcome to Derry. There was quite a few. I was listing them all earlier, and now I'm drawing a blank on them.
I honestly only knew The Long Walk, so you did a better poll than I did. So, but you know what? Neither one of us have read this book, and neither one of us has seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So this was a brand new start for both of us.
By the way, there is a little Easter egg, a nice little nod in the movie to the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. So just be on lookout for that. It's a cute one.
Yeah, I like the nod to it, but this movie, I was super pumped for this movie when they announced it. The trailers looked really good. Glenn Powell, I know he's gotten hate over the years, but I really like him as an actor, and I was super excited for him to take on this role just because it just seems like a role he would take on, and I thought he was excellent. So,
Yeah, yeah. And just to bring up a couple of the others I was mentioning, because I forgot, Life of Chuck was another adaptation. I think The Monkey also came out this year, and then The Institute.
oh wow, Stephen King just racking in those bills.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. Edgar Wright taking on a project like this, Stephen King and Edgar Wright, not really the names I think of immediately to come into a wombo combo situation of collaboration. But I mean, I gotta say, and this isn't even my typical expectation when it comes to a Stephen King type of genre film. And, which makes sense because I don't remember what pseudonym he went by in the when he wrote the books. I know it was a different name, and it was the same pen name he went under for the Long Walk, because it was a different name before it was revealed it was Stephen King writing those books. So again, not the two names I was expecting to work together with Edgar Wright and Stephen King, but wow, damn, I'm so glad that Edgar Wright was at the helm for this one.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. It felt like very, this is so cliche to say, but it felt very Edgar Wrighty at certain points. I was like, oh, yeah, he directed this. I know he did. He's so good with music.
Yeah, the music cues in this movie are not, I will say, not as timed well with like Baby Driver. Baby Driver, I think, and which makes sense because Baby Driver's whole thing is that it revolves around those music cues. But I mean, here it's just, the main focus I think is more so the visual and the narrative than it is, those cues and following like a poetic beat, and more so focusing on just telling a really strong, passionate story of what the Running Man truly is about. Which, for all you who don't know, the Running Man is about this game in a dystopian future, not too far off future, if you ask me, with how things are kind of going. But basically, in this dystopian future where all these game shows, there's a lot more to be on the line, like your life, and you could win like $1 billion if you join this Running Man competition as one of these game shows. And this guy Ben Richards wants to make money for his family. His kid's sick, and he joins up in this game, and it kind of goes from there with the whole country and then some hunting him down.
Honestly, it is a cool idea. Besides the killing part, it is a cool idea for a TV show. I won't lie. I was like, ooh.
And this is why the future is near.
Yes.
This type of future is right around the corner, people.
But it is a really interesting concept to go about because it does talk a little bit about how, networks are controlling, like how social media is controlling to this day and feeding us certain algorithms. And I like that message, but I'm also glad that I didn't feel like it was pushed down my throat in this movie. I had a good time. Like, I enjoyed this film. It's funny at certain points, and I don't think anyone else could play this besides Glenn Powell.
Yeah, no, and we were talking about as we were walking out the theater, we were thinking maybe a Chris Pratt, and gosh, yeah, put me in another movie. But, but you know, I think this role was just really made for Glenn Powell. He's just a guy you can really get behind and also feel like, he's good looking enough to be a leading man, but he's also kind of got like this ruggedness to him like a Clint Eastwood, where it's like you can believe that he comes from like a less fortunate upbringing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
he's come a long way since Spy Kids 3. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah, that's a deep pull.
That is a deep hole.
But I really liked him in this film, and yeah, I think he brings in this charm about
Yeah.
him that really conveys on camera, and you can't help but not root for him this whole entire movie. And there's certain parts where I'm like, shoot, are we like being tricked in this situation? Like, did he like what is happening? And so I really like that part of the movie too.
Yeah, scratch that. I could see Michael B. Jordan playing the role too.
Really?
Yeah, I could.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was Edgar Wright's movie. He put Glenn Powell in there, and Glenn Powell killed it. But, I'm just saying, if we're like saying, oh, alternate universe, and it was done the same way, different actor, I could see Michael B. Jordan in there.
We're a fan cast channel now, are we?
No, no, we ain't going down that road. But
No. But that's interesting. But I really like Glenn Powell as well as Amelia Jones is in this movie. Coleman Domingo's in this movie.
oh my gosh, Coleman Domingo kills. You could tell he had fun with this role.
I love this. And another thing we said right out of the movie theater, we were like, Coleman Domingo could play Norman Osborn. He did in The Friendly
He
Neighborhood.
does. The
He
show's ongoing.
That is true. He does, but live action, we both said he could totally pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see him as like a live action Norman Osborn, 100%. I think this role really does confirm that. Uh,
So much fun. He just seems like he's having a blast the whole time.
oh my gosh, yeah, even down to like the darkness of the character
Yeah.
and like playing into the whole theatrics of it all. Oh my gosh. I bet he was like, I'll take a pay cut. Like, just let me play this role and have a blast with it. I don't care, man. This is fun.
Yeah, he's so much fun. He just again, it's just the charisma he brings on screen.
And I think that's just like for a decent amount of these actors and characters throughout this movie. It's that charisma and charm, not only with our main lead, but throughout the movie, the side supporting characters, and everyone involved. Just there's that charisma. And Edgar Wright's cadence when it comes to these movies has that charm really embedded in them between like Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, and you got now the Running Man in there. Every single one of these characters, whether they be good, bad, in between, just you can not help but like have a blast with all these characters.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it just brings such a different point of view too. And I think that's what I enjoyed about it. And I think the trailers did an awesome job marketing this movie. Like, I felt like I got exactly what I wanted from it, and it was just a good time overall. So I'm excited to see what Edgar Wright does next. If it is like, because this movie, no spoilers, but it leaves it where maybe there could be a sequel. I don't really think so. I don't think that's really Stephen King's kind of thing, but I would be interested to see how well this movie
I
does.
mean, Stephen King does do sequels, but I would say in the case of this one, especially considering the book was written many decades ago, I don't think that there's a sequel really in store for The Running Man. And maybe there is a Running Man sequel rewritten from the original book. I don't know. I haven't read either. With this one, I feel like it's definitely a one and done story. It's
Mhm.
said what's needed to say. And I would say, if anything, it's just get more Stephen King movies like this made. Like, we don't only have to play in horror. We can
Mm.
play in these types of movies of various different genres too. I mean, don't stop making the horror ones. 'Cause, I mean, Welcome to Derry, that TV series on HBO is a big hit right now. So don't stop making that stuff. But yeah, we want more of the long walk. We want more of the Running Man, especially when you're bringing on these types of like stylized directors to come in and bring in their own flair to these stories. I think that I want more of that.
Yeah, it's more of the thriller aspect of Stephen King, which I enjoy more as someone who doesn't like horror. And so I really did enjoy this movie because it wasn't like it was never anything scary, and I just really appreciate that, and I really wanna know book readers, tell us how close this movie is to the book, because I have no idea, like, maybe this was a horrible adaptation just like Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but I wanna know, actually, it makes me wanna go read it.
Yeah, and from what I did hear from people that did see the movie before we did, they say that this movie is a very truthful adaptation from the original source material. I'm not certain, that's not to say like it was a 100% beat for beat,
Mhm,
but it's kind of like the same case maybe as like more in line with a Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein adaptation,
mhm.
where it's got that same messaging, that same spirit behind it, but maybe some things that might have been changed here and there that would might be considered big points, but honestly, it still gets the same message across of what's at the heart of this story.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, it's just crazy. As we were watching this movie, I was thinking about like a lot of the stuff that was probably written in Stephen King's book. Again, we don't know, we haven't read the book, but like a lot of the stuff involving, altering stuff with like AI and just kind of like changing different images to look like one thing, make it look like another, like within seconds. It's just like, maybe back then it's like, oh yeah, that's in the distant future. That's no time at all. And maybe that wasn't really a horrific aspect of it, um, you know, to that audience, but to this audience, it's like that's right around the corner. I mean, AI is not at that point yet where it's scary good. It's on the brink though. And that's why I think this movie, for better or worse, is kind of a horror film on the macro level than the micro level than we're typically seeing with Stephen King.
Well, and even at the time that we're recording it, Disney's Bob Iger just spoke out about using AI more in Disney films. And it's something that's super interesting and that is happening in the real world that you're bringing up, which could lead into like even a horror film in real life in a way. And so it's a good time for this film to come out.
Yeah, and you know what? This alongside of like that Gore Verbinski movie that we just got a trailer for,
Mm.
was it like Don't Die, Have Fun, or something like that. It's Have Fun, Don't Die. It's three lines of something. I just can't remember what the other. But Gore Verbinski, who did Pirates of the Caribbean, Rango, he's coming back after a little bit of a hiatus, I think, and directing that movie, which is all about AI and just a very interesting take on it and looks like a bonkers movie, almost in the same vein as like an Edgar Wright. So another film like that, yes, please.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. Even like this just popped in my head, but James Cameron has stated before that he's like, we have not used AI in Avatar, and that we have Avatar 3 coming out shortly too. And so it's interesting how much that's going to play into our social media and our life. And as of right now, like Sora, even that app. And so it's just interesting not to go on like just a different rant, obviously Running Man, it's a great movie. Go see it. We recommend it, but it's interesting how much it does play into our real life right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, these are the conversations this type of movie and I assume the book want us to have, not only about AI, but like the various aspects of society and like networks and corporations, how much they play into our lives. In the same vein as like Alien and now Predator with the Wayland Yutani stuff. So I mean, it's really it's ironic that a lot of these corporations with the studios are playing into it, but they know that a little self-deprecation is good for everyone.
Yeah, you're
So, no matter what level you're at. But yeah, no, I think it's just an interesting way of viewing a lot of Stephen King's materials right now with like the micro level of horror where it's very, short-term horror where you have stories like It and The Shining and all that. And then you got this on a macro societal level when it comes to stories like The Running Man and The Long Walk. So I love to see them all. I'm here for them all, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, just a quick thing before we bounce off here. I feel like it's important to say our stances on AI because I know it's a big topical point.
Mhm.
Just a quick note. I think AI is a great thing to use as a tool. As for utilizing it to be an end all be all generative, I think that is terrible. I
Mhm.
think that is not the way to go, and it is a dangerous rabbit hole to go down. So, I think it's great if we use it to say remove backgrounds from
Mm.
certain images to for graphic design and all that. But when it comes to fully trying to distort the world and make for nefarious reasons and just basically intentionally remove the humanism in what we do, that's just a terrible place to go down. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think, AI is a tool and you should utilize it, but should never take away from creativity and everything. So,
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that little soapbox
little
moment there.
rant, right?
Little baby soapbox. But guys, the running man, Edgar Wright, we gotta rate this thing.
Yes.
So Annmarie, out of oh gosh, I forget the name of the cereal. What was it?
Wink
Twink
cereal?
Twink boxes or
Yeah, something.
take that as you will. Forget the cereal one because I can't remember the title of the cereal. Out of I'm changing it. I'm going back. Out of 10 Running Man contestants,
Okay.
how many would you give this movie out of 10?
I really did enjoy this movie. I think the ending of this movie kind of does get messy, where it just felt like it was doing too much at once. But overall, I really did like this. I think Glenn Powell is coming into his own, and I really enjoyed him in this film, as well as Coleman Domingo. I think Edgar Wright is a great director, and it always makes me wonder what his Ant-Man would have looked like if he stayed on, because his movies are just great, and so it always just surprises me every time I go into one of his films, and overall, I just really enjoyed it, and I'm confident enough to give it a 8 out of 10 because I did enjoy it. Again, the ending just felt a little too much at a certain point, and not like that's a bad thing, but it just didn't really work for me. But overall, I really did enjoy the film.
Okay. I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Gosh, I feel like me dancing between the eights
Yeah.
and tens, yeah, everything in between. That's just, it just goes to show the movies we've been seeing from my point of view. I think that they've been pretty darn good, solid at the minimum. But this one I gotta give a 9. I think it did just about everything right. There were certain points where the suspense of disbelief I think were played with a little too much
Mhm.
and that rubber band was like stretched where I'm like, oh, I think it's about to snap here. Overall, I think Edgar Wright did a great job of taking Stephen King's material, really making it his own while also maintaining that same heart, kind of like what we saw with Guillermo del Toro and Mary Shelley's work earlier this year. And, I absolutely here for it. And the execution between, everyone, the cinematography, the acting, the directing, the music cues, everything in between, I think was a blast. So I would highly recommend everyone go see this movie. Do not turn it off,
No.
as they may advise you towards the end of the movie. But yeah, no, I'm absolutely here for it. So it gets a 9 Running Man contestants out of 10 for me.
There you go.
Yeah, so guys, The Running Man, Edgar Wright's 2025 rendition of the Stephen King novel. Have you guys seen it at this point? Let us know what you think about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think the Arnold Schwarzenegger one's better? That'll be a very hot take, but hey, let us know either way. Let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And with that, Amory, I think that about does it.
That's rapid.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode of Cassette Take. We hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast. Whether you have or haven't, please don't forget to rewind. I've been Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And hunt this movie
Movie
down.